You know, things could be another way. Like, it's an easier way to do stuff. I don't know why people got this thing where it's like their ego will not allow them, for instance, to see things could be another way. Like this right here. When you lost, say you driving. When you get lost, or you think you finna get lost, you gonna find a place, you turn your GPS on. You use your phone, turn your GPS on. That's what you do, right? When you can't find your way, you turn your GPS on. Why is it that people don't do that in their regular day in their life? Like, it's like they wanna go the hard route. They don't want to go the easy route. Because the GPS gonna tell you where the traffic at, what's the fastest route to get to the destination. That's what the GPS gonna do. Why does it seem like it's like so many people that don't want to turn the GPS on in their real life and research shit, look up stuff, or ask questions because it's an easier way to get to the destination. It's an easier way to get to the destination. When you get in the car with the Uber driver, you get in the car, you done already told on your phone where you want to go. The destination, they give you a time when you finna get to your destination. The Uber driver, they already know where you gonna go. You get in the car, you confirm it's you, and then they pull off. And next thing you know, you sitting in the car, you ain't worried about where you going because you done told the driver where you going. You done gave him the directions or where it's at. That's what the GPS is for. But in regular day in, day out life, people don't be wanting to go the easy route. They want shit to be the hard way. Case in point, this right here. This right here. Peace and love to all y'all Moors out there, all y'all Asiatics that's out there, all y'all critical thinkers that's out there. You know the rack up in here, south side, wild hundreds, east side crazy, low end, out west with it, up north. Let me know where y'all tuning in from, though. Much love to all y'all out there. So, we talking about navigation, GPS, getting to a destination with the least kind of, you know what I'm saying, potholes and traffic. This is what we talking about. Getting to the destination. Look at this. Because the question got asked. Somebody sent me a DM with a question like, man, where's all the money at with so-called African Americans? This is just one of the questions somebody just threw out. So I'm like, that's a good ass question. Where's all the money at with so-called black people, so-called African Americans? Because you would think, like, what all the money people be spending, where's all the money at? So that got me to thinking. So I said, okay, let me check. Let me run some numbers real quick. Let me run some numbers. Shout out to Georgia, Baltimore, Nashville, South Carolina, Ohio. Let me know where y'all at. Brooklyn, Islam. The Bay, Islam. Let me know where y'all at, man. Virginia, Islam. So that got me running some numbers and thinking about some stuff like, where does the money go with so-called African American people? Where does the money go? You be surprised. Y'all know the answer already. Y'all seen Pastor Sapp. You seen what he on. Alabama, Islam. Y'all know where the money be going. But check this number out to where the money be going. When Buddy up there like, hey, close the doors up. We need 40,000 a night. Y'all know where the money going. Islam. Houston. Check this out. African American churches collectively receive an estimated $11 billion to $19 billion annually in tithes and offerings. Oh my God. Yo! What? Now y'all see why the pastor was up there talking about, yeah, it costs to be up here. It costs to be up here. This is the so-called black churches nationwide. Now y'all see why he say, well, we could raise $40,000. We could raise $10,000 a night. Because so-called African Americans, you give $11 billion to $19 billion annually, a year, with tithing and offerings. And then you wonder why. Then you start connecting dots. And then you start seeing the whole entire scam with these churches. This is why I'm going to let y'all women know. This is why your husband or your boyfriend or your significant other, this is why they don't go to the church like that. This is why they be telling you like, babe, I'm not feeling that church, that pastor. I'm not feeling that. I'm letting y'all women know. This is why a lot of the guys fell back from going to these churches, because these pastors, the majority of them up there pimping you women up there. For real. That might be controversial to you, but it is what it is. A lot of these guys don't want to go to the church with y'all women out there, because we see that the pastor, majority of them is pimping. They up there telling you all these stories about prosperity, and it could be good if you just give a little more. If you dig in your pocket a little more and you just give out to the church. This is why your husband don't want to go to the church with you. This is why your boyfriend don't want to go to the church with you. This is why your significant other keep telling your ass like, babe, I'm not feeling dude up there. He a scam artist. I'm saying he a hustler. He out here hustling. He ain't out here giving the word of God. He out here hustling. This is why the guys don't. I'm letting y'all women know. This is why a lot of the guys don't want to go with you. If you keep talking about going to church on Sunday, this is why he don't want to go with you. Because how can the so-called African American people, who are really Moors, but they keep misidentifying as African American, even though that don't exist. This is why you say, where is the money at? Because people be focused on economics, finances. And you just got to ask, where is the money going with the so-called black people every year? Where the money going? And the Asians, you notice I'm saying Asians. I'm not saying yellow people. I'm not saying yellow people. Because Asians don't misidentify. They don't self-identify as yellow. They don't identify as yellow crayons and yellow paint, yellow dye. They don't identify as that. It's the people that live above Mexico that misidentify because of the conditioning and the brainwashing and the television and the phone. You keep misidentifying as paint. Blood is blood. Paint is paint. They're not the same. We all got blood in our bodies. We ain't got paint in our bodies. So, on that pastor that's up there, you thinking that this pastor that's up there is asking for donations and tithes and offerings and whatnot every Sunday. You thinking because you give a little bit more and you dig a little bit deeper, you think that you gonna get blissed up by the Creator? Where did the Creator in any holy book say the more that you give, the more you gonna receive as far as money? Where is it? You show me that scripture where the Creator said the more money that you give, the more you gonna get from the church. Not giving because you feel like giving to strangers in the street, because it's on your heart to give to somebody that's in need. I'm talking about where in the scriptures do it say give to the church building on Sunday and you gonna receive more? It don't say that nowhere. It don't. But see, the pastors, the deacons, this is what they doing. On God. Where does the creator say that he need our money? Yo, think about it. Where does the creator say, who created everything, say that they need money from human beings? And the more paper that you give, the more you're going to get blissed up. Where? It's not in there. It's a scam. This is why your husband, your boyfriend don't want to go with you to that church building. You want to go because you not seeing this nigga is in here scamming. He ain't here hustling. Every Sunday. You just seen it blow up with that pastor down that sap. You just seen it blow up. Are you putting the pieces together now? Because according to statistics, so-called African-American churches collectively receive an estimated $11 billion to $19 billion a year in tithing and offerings. Damn. And you ask, where does the money go? Where does the money go with the so-called African-American people? The so-called black churches? Where's all the money at? 11 billion? 19 billion? Then how come none of that 11 billion and that 19 billion, it ain't going around the community? That's the donation. The people that's donating, hold up. The people that's donating, obviously, if they can generate 11 to 19 billion dollars a year, how come the community don't look like it's supposed to look? How come the schools ain't looking like they supposed to look? The teachers ain't getting paid as much as they should be getting paid. The library, where the library at? Where's the library? How come it ain't no law library or a library over there in a community that's donating 11 to 19 billion dollars in communities? That's wild. Then I looked up this thing. I looked up another number on some. It ain't just I'm just focusing on our people, Moors. So 11 to 19 billion dollars a year, the so-called African Americans give in tithing and offerings to churches. That's what, you know what you could do with $11 billion? Do you know what you could do with $19 billion a year? Is you crazy? You talking about build a school? Man, you could have universities with 11 billion to 19 billion. Everybody it'll be enough for free enrollment. Free books, all that. All you got to do is show up to class. Learn about finances. Learn about economics. Learn about civics. Learn about nationality and birthright. You can learn about spirituality. You can learn about comedic science. You can learn about Moorish science. You can learn about agriculture. Learn how to go to the gun range and shoot. Learn how to shoot. You can learn how to do electrician work, plumbing work, trade work, welding, things like that. You can learn that through trade school with 11 billion, 19 billion. Shit. Crazy as hell. So that's where the money going. So when you ask, where is the money at with the so-called African Americans? It's going to the churches. That's where it's going. And the creator never said nothing about if you give, the more you give on Sunday, the more you gonna get blissed up. It ain't in the scriptures nowhere. But see, they up there hustling though. They know people ain't really reading that Bible like that. So they know people up there, they know how to hustle with the prosperity messages. Yeah, close the doors up. Just give out of the kindness of your heart. Dig deep. They hustling, fam. So I looked up some more stats, right? I'm looking up these stats and I'm like, fam, if you looking at stats It was a stat that showed women it's estimated in the year 2032. You could Google this. It's estimated in the year 2032 that so-called African American women will be spending, what was the number? What was the number? In 2032, billion. It was, what was it? 4 point something billion dollars a year. 4 point something billion dollars. I'm talking about so-called African American women. So-called black women have the spending power alone of 4 billion projected in the year 2032. What? And that's from buying wigs, hair bundles and shit. Makeup. 4 billion? Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know where the money going? The money going to things that we don't own and we not in control of. That's where the money going. So when you ask, where is the so-called African American money going? It's going to wasted places. You don't own shit as far as controlling shit. Because if it's your own company, you keeping it flood circulating in your own people, with your people. But if you don't own it and somebody else own it, you helping they people out and their community out more than you helping your own people out. 4 point something billion dollars? We talking about hair care products. Women getting hair bundles and shit. We talking about stuff like that. Weave and all that. Now it'd be different if you owned it. If you owned your company on a mass scale, and then you start, that's what every other nationality do. Every other nationality, they come here, they work here, they send money back to their peoples, and then when they get enough bread, they send for their peoples to come to Al Maghrib, Alaska, America. They send for their peoples. I met a dude today at the gas station. I said, hey man, where you from, man? He was like, I'm from Yemen. I said, yeah, I'm from Morocco. I said, how you like being in Maghrib? I said, you from Yemen? He was like, yeah, I'm from Yemen. I was like, how you like it in the Americas then? He was like, I love it here. He from there. And I was like, well, how long you been here for? Because I ain't never seen you up here. Because every time I see a foreigner up there, I always make sure to ask them, I speak to them, you know what I'm saying, with respect. And I see like where they come, where they from, you feel me, what their name is. And I let them know, I put them on notice of who I am. Because you in our land, you in the Maghrib. So you got to let them know, because they don't know that you know. They thinking like, oh, this nigga, you just a black person. You just an African American. You just a regular person. Nah. That's why you put them on notice. But when I said, how you like Al Maghrib, he looked at me and was like, how you know that? How you know America by that name? You be surprised, fam. When you know, and they know that you know, because you told them that you know, it's a whole different kind of level of respect and treatment. You're not going to get treated like a so-called black person. No, sir. Because you letting them know you are more. And how they talk to you, how they treat you isn't, fam, you will have to experience it. Like I could tell you, but you will have to experience how the treatment is. Like I done have people like from like Asians and other nationalities, like real shit, no bragging shit, just real shit. And you can ask other Moors this. You will have like, if you got your turban on and you wrapped up, like say you wrapped up like this, right? Like say I ain't had no fitted on and I got my turban on like this. I got my turban on like this, right? And I'm wrapped up. I'm wrapped up like this. right? But say I ain't got no fitted on. I just got this whole thing covered up. You will be surprised how the level of respect is when you let them know who you are. Because for too long, we've been under the illusion that like when we go to like Yemen or Dubai or Morocco over there, we'll think like that's their culture. You feel me? That ain't their culture over there. No, sir. That's our culture. That's Moorish culture. The pale-skinned Arabs, the pale-skinned so-called Arabs means noble. Like the word Arab, it means a nobleman or a desert wanderer. The first people that was civilized in the deserts around the world, those is Moors. So when you think of the word Arabic, that's a code name for Moorish. Don't let that one go over your head. I know what you've been told, but do the research. So when you hear the word and see the word Arabic, that does not belong to the pale-skinned Palestinians, the pale-skinned people from Yemen, the pale-skinned Saudi Arabians. That don't belong to them. No, that belongs to the copper complexion, tawny complexion, dark complexion, swarthy Moors that circumnavigated the planet. All this culture on this planet originated with us, including money. This is why I kicked it off with, where does the money go with so-called African American people? Not knowing, because of the conditioning of the school system and the brainwashing, we thinking that money is started by a pale-skinned European, or money started with somebody else and not us. Let me show you this though. Let me turn this light on. Let me show you this. Check this out. Show you this right here. So you can see. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it. We've been brainwashed to think that money started with other people. You know what I'm saying? Money started with somebody else. You said, what do you think about Pastor Davis? What happened with Pastor Davis? Who was that? Who's Pastor Davis? Let me show you something with this. You say, so they put a J in front and added 1,000. Yes, sir. Yeah, they added, fam. If you look at some old buildings, they added 1,000 years, 800 to 1,000 years to the calendar. That's what happened. So right now, we're not in the time that they say that we're in. They did that to control the narrative. Islam, or they did that to control the narrative, to create a false narrative, to put us in a paradox that we always feel like we got to climb out of something. So when we talk about money, right? We talk about money. Keep this in mind. When they talk about where's the money for the African Americans every year? We make $1 trillion a year. Where's the money at? Here go one place the money keep going. You just keep giving it to them. They not putting a gun to your head. You just keep giving it to them. African American churches collectively receive an estimated $11 billion to $19 billion annually in tithes and offerings. You giving $11 billion to $19 billion a year to the churches, and then you wonder where the money going. How come it ain't no positive effects in the community? Because you keep giving all your bread to these sellout and these treacherous churches. You just seen this pastor get up there and tell people, man, close the doors up, man. Close the doors up. I want 40,000 tonight. You just seen what happened. They ain't even hiding it no more. They letting it be known. They own that because they see, look how much they getting paid every year. 11 billion, 19 billion. You telling me I can't get 40,000? That's why they talk like that. That's why now they letting it all out now. But see, now if we start studying what money is though, Look at what money is. We've been tricked to think money came from the Europeans and somebody else. And you see this right here? You know it's crazy? Look at this right here, right? You know it's crazy? Look, hold up. Let me show you. Let me show you real quick. If you got one of these, pull it out your pocket. If you got one of these green pieces of paper, pull it out your pocket. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. If you got one of these, pull it out your pocket. You got one of these, pull it out your pocket. Right? Just do this as a science, a real-time science experiment. We don't even know what money is. You know how crazy that is? You tell somebody, fam, you don't even know what money is. They gonna think that you ain't wrapped too tight. If you tell the average person walking outside that these right here ain't money, they gonna look at you like you ain't wrapped too tight. Straight up. They gonna look at you like, nah, this nigga tweaking. Because that's the conditioning. What's crazy is this right here is in the word Egyptian. Check it out. The Egyptian word for pyramid is myrrh. Myrrh, M-E-R, is a variation of M-O-O-R, M-U-R, M-O-H-R, M-U-E-R. All these is variations. If you pick up the book, Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers, the word more has over 50 or more variations to the spelling. So in the mind, because what the mind thinks, the body will be. So if you thinking in the mentality of what the media then colonized you and what the traders then told you, and you have not done no research on nothing that you've been told, you colonized and you're staying in a lost place. How I kicked this beam out, how I kicked it off. People today could find out anything they want to find out because it's a GPS that it connects you to wherever question that you got some kind of GPS to connect you and plug you to that destination. You got a GPS available out here. Yeah. Just like you finna catch that Uber. You tell that Uber driver, hey, look here, this is where I want to go. You know what I'm saying? You already put the destination in your phone, and the Uber driver finna pick you up, finna whoop you from your location. And they get in the car, they gonna have the GPS on. You ain't really gonna catch no Uber driving just out here just freestyling. Just doing whatever they want to do. Nah, they not finna do that. They got a GPS already. They own that already. They already got a GPS. So if you want to find out something in today's times, it's a GPS available. So you ain't got to go the hard route. You ain't got to go through traffic. You can avoid shit if you want to. See, this is the thing. When we talk about money, bags, Islam, more. When we talk about money, right? Check this out. When we talking about money, this is why we got to start coming into the light. Because knowledge is the light. Darkness is ignorance. We got to get out of the darkness. You can't see in the dark. I can't see in the dark. This is what the reason of the creator making light and darkness. And you look at the yin and the yang. Everything is a polarity. It's a duality. We need the light. We need the darkness. It's a time for there to be light. And it's a time for there to be dark. When you get a bright idea, there's light. When you want knowledge to do something, there's light. You're receiving enlightenment. There's a time for darkness. That's a cycle of life. That's why it's 24 hours in the night and the day. It's a time for everything. The thing about our people is when you try to give somebody some enlightenment or direction or guidance, because you might have not on some cocky shit, you just on some love shit. You just on some, fam, I don't want to see you go through this shit, these potholes and traffic. I don't want to see you go through that. So I'm going to help you out on some love shit, as we should. But it's some people who so prideful. It's like that person that's in the car that's lost, and all they really got to do is turn their GPS on and find out their destination. They so damn prideful. They like, nah, I can find my own way. Now they lost already. Now you like, fam, it's been 40 minutes already. Your ass still tweaking type shit. And you like, all your ass got to do is turn the GPS on. We could be out. We could be at the spot. It's cracking there. I just got the call, G. It's busting there. And you like, I'm going to get there how I get there. Man, let me out, man. I'm going to catch an Uber there, because the Uber finna go where the fuck I tell them to go. They ain't finna freestyle. I got the directions. I got the location already here. I don't know what you want type shit. But see, a lot of people, they prideful and they head hard. So they like, I'm finna do it my way on that ego shit. Egotistical. There's nothing wrong with having an ego, as long as your ego is balanced out with with knowledge and direction and guidance. Look at this right here. So if we go right here, the Egyptian word for pyramid is myrrh. Egyptians are Moors. According to documentation, according to history, Egyptians are Moorish people. You ever heard of the Metanetia? That's a Moorish dialect. That's a Moorish language, right? That's number one. Why is number one attached to the pyramid? Interesting, right? Because the pyramid was created by the first people that was here. Who were the first people to people the planet and bring civilization to the planet? You talking about the Lemurians? You talking about the Atlanteans? You talking about ancient Moabite people? This is what we talking about. This is why, see, it's so many different hidden codes that's connected to this green piece of paper. See, if we talking about economics and finances, we got to start learning what is money and what is not money. This right here is not money, though. This right here is exactly what it says it is. It's a Federal Reserve note. That's exactly what it is. It says this note is legal tender for debts, all debts, public and private. So again, if we want to go somewhere with the information, we got to have knowledge of the information. We can use these debt notes to get what we got to get, for sure. But the separation comes with the knowledge. That's the light. The darkness will be like, nah, I'm just going to stay thinking what I'm thinking that this is. Nah, then you limited. You cap. Money is only gold and silver coin. But our ancestors knew that. But see, these demons, they trick people with technology. And they use words. They use language like legalese. Right. So when we say, all right, well, what can we do with this right now? What can we do with this information? I'm glad you asked. Because you could go right here. Look at this. You could go right here. It says this right here. Check it out. It says the English language has roots in various Latin dialects, all of which have Moorish origins. When I hear people claim that English isn't their language, it underscores how the education system was designed to mislead and condition our collective minds. This has been a significant factor contributing to the issues faced by our people. Moorish individuals unknowingly have been distancing themselves from their own language. Own people been distancing ourselves from our own language. We thinking when we hear the word English, we thinking that we didn't create that. But let's go see a little bit. Let me give you a little bit more. You want a little bit more? Check it out. What it say? It say, I'll go to it real quick. It says before 1828, the Roman tribes in colonial North America spoke different Latin dialects. North America. It says all of which had roots in Arabic. Now remember, when you see the word and hear the word Arabic, do not think of the pale skin so-called Arabic, Palestinian, Saudi Arabian, Iranian. Don't think of them first. Think of dark complexion Moors, because we're the first people. We are the first people to bring civilization to the planet. Look at the dots connect. Connect the dots. We peopled the planet first. Not anybody pale. We peopled the planet first. Copper complexion. Okay, check it out. So it say, well, what could we do with this information? Check it out. It says, the language of the sophisticated Moors is Arabic. In 1828, the first English dictionary was published in colonial North America. Consequently, the English language is a culmination of dialects. One more time. The English language is a culmination of dialects, all originating from Arabic. So English is not made up of one dialect. It's made up of several dialects to make up the English language originating from Arabic. What's older than Arabic? You got to ask yourself, what language did Yahushua speak? Yahushua, he spoke Aramaic. You see? Crazy, right? So what's older than Arabic is the language that Yahushua spoke, and Yahushua's great-great-grandmama was a Moabite. Her name is in the scripture, but the pastor ain't gonna tell you that. Ruth the Moabitess. Why don't the pastor ever bring up Ruth, the chapter of Ruth on no Sunday? Cook 'em. Cook 'em. So let's go. It say, the linguistic influence is also noticeable in French, Spanish, and Italian mathematical expressions. So let's rewind real quick. This is how much influence our people have on the planet. So we're looking at the Egyptian word for pyramid, which is Mer, Egyptian. Those are Moors. Then you say the first people, the people in civilized the planet, are Moorish people. So you got Moors here, you got Moors here, right? Now, when you say the language, the different languages that make up the planet, they all have a huge influence off Arabic. Arabic was created by Moors as well. So when you say French, how do you say love in French? What do you say? You say amore. How do you say love in Spanish? You say amor. How do you say more in Italian? Or how do you say love in Italian? Amor. You see? So you have the word love in 3 separate languages that all have the similar mathematical expression and linguistic expression as the word love is in English. The connections is crazy. You think that's by accident? You think it's by accident that in English you say love, in French love is amour, Spanish it's a amor. Well, you say amore, and amor in Spanish, and Italian is amor. It's so similar, it's insane. And it's not coincidental that these are mathematical equations. Language is a mathematical equation. You see? It's just like in Germany, in so-called Jewish language or Hebrew. Language is mathematics. This is why when you know how to speak the language, they say like a translator that could go overseas and go to different places. They say that those are dangerous people because they could go to another country and blend in because they speak the language. They understand the mathematics of the language. So they could blend in. That's why translators get paid so much, because they can blend in with the mathematical language. You feel me? So what do we do? What do we say with English? It says English serves as a versatile tool for conveying messages from numerous perspectives. The term angel, or we say angle, can also refer to viewpoint. It is related to the word perspective. Much like many other human languages, English often provides multiple words to describe and define a concept, enabling us to comprehend it from various viewpoints, perspectives, or angles. So when you look at the word angle, you can also say angel, because the word Sandi Adel Islam. So when you saying like, when they be like, what's today's mathematics? You looking at language. You looking at science. So today's mathematics is language, science, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. What you would say, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You feel me? You would say food, clothing, and shelter. This is what it is. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Or they'll say love, peace, and happiness. This is today's mathematics. So today's mathematics, we got to get back into the mindset to reconnect the mathematics. And it start with language. When they talk about how come so-called black people ain't got no money, I just showed you. I just showed y'all. Check it out. I just showed you. When you talk about money, so-called African American churches collectively make up an estimated $11 billion to $19 billion a year. You giving your money away to the wrong people, to the churches. Like that pastor talking about, close the doors. Close the doors up. Yeah. I'm talking about, he talking bold with it. Damn. He talking Super Bowl, like, yeah, close the doors up. Talking Super Bowl. You ain't tired of that? And then be like, nah, he just don't know what he doing. Pastor, he don't know what he doing. Yeah, all right. If the so-called African American churches is collecting 11 billion to 19 billion with a B, you think they don't know what they doing when they asking the congregation for them offerings and them tithes? They know what they own. They just keep counting on the people that keep going to them churches not to know. They know what they doing. Our people just don't know what they doing. They thinking, the more that I give on Sunday, the more that I'm going to receive. Look at my face. If that's the case, how come the church ain't never behind on rent? It's still there. How come they got enough to keep the lights on? How come this is the real shit. How come the community outside of these churches and mega churches, how come the community so toe up? Liquor stores on the corner. But the church cold though. I'm talking about the church cold. The inside plush. They got They got the wood grain in there. The church look super cold. But outside that church though, once they get out them fences, cause you know how them giant ass churches, they got the all black fences around it, or the all white fences. Like they don't want the hood. They don't want the hood coming in that church building when they ain't there. So they put the giant gates up and shit around it and shit. Nah. You gotta see the hustle, man. It's a hustle. You gotta peep. Y'all gotta look. Our people gotta stop peeping the hustle. We've been getting hustled. I'm talking about when they talk about what these is, from what money is. When they talk about what money is, that ain't money. That's a Federal Reserve note. We just use that as energy for so-called transfer for money. But money is not a dollar bill. A dollar is a Yakumthaler. Pick up the book, The Day the Dollar Dies, by William, what's dude last name? William Collender or something like that. His name is like William Collender. But the book is called The Day the Dollar Dies. Get that. Fire. The Day the Dollar Dies, fam. He break down what the dollar really, like what a dollar really is, and the origin of the dollar. The dollar came from Yakumthaler. That's gold. That's a dollar. It ain't paper. What came first? People or paper? People nowadays are enslaved to paper. You know, it's crazy. This is some wild type shit. I'm scrolling today. I'm on the gram. I'm scrolling. Whole time I see this chick on there, right? She in the drive-thru, and she in Burger King, out of all places. She in Burger King. Check this shit out. This chick is in Burger King, right? Getting her Burger King shit, her murder burger. You know what I'm saying? So she asked Buddy that's gave her food and shit, her drink and shit. She like, man, what's on your mind right now? So Buddy, like, he's working. Like, he's working. He's at the window giving out, you know what I'm saying, orders and whatnot, right? Whole time, old girl, like, what's on your mind right now? While she taking the bags and shit. Buddy, like, man, I'm working right now. I got, dude changed his order up or whatever. She like, that's what's on your mind? Like, with a stank ass attitude. She like, that's what's on your mind? He like, yeah. So she get the last bag. She reach over there and she get the last bag from Buddy. And she like, you need to have money on your mind. And speed off. Get your goof at. Look, man. Islam. I'm like, get your goof ass out of here. How you in Burger King waiting on your food and you talking trash to a worker that worked there and you telling him he need to get some money? Is you stupid? He at work already. You see, this is that brainwashing. This is that cognitive dissonance that you will be like, how the hell you talking shit about me and I'm at work? Oh, you looking down on me because I work at Burger King. Ah, but your dumb ass in here eating Burger King though. Stupid. You in here eating Burger King, but you talking trash about, you spending your money in Burger King, but you talking shit because I work in Burger King. You see, look, man, the plan to manipulate women's minds emotionally with the Behold the Pale Horse and the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars and the Negro Project, it's like it done took a hold with all these black TV shows. And remember, darkness is black. You can't see in the darkness. This is why they want to keep promoting this black dark spell on our people, to keep their minds mentally in the darkness. You can't see in the darkness. So you can't even connect yourself mentally that somebody who works there to the place that you got food from, he's getting money there. You came there to spend your money there. He worked there already. But you talking trash because he worked there and you looking down on him. Meanwhile, you eating Burger King with your goof ass. Yo, your goof ass spending your money where somebody else work at that you talking trash about getting money at. Silent weapons for quiet wars, fam. This is what they own. This is what they own. They own that. They own that. Teach these people nothing. Teach them nothing. Take away everything from these people and teach them nothing but how to destroy themselves. Teach them nothing but how to destroy themselves. That's what they own. Whether you want to say the U.S. corporation, the dark force, the darkness, this is the entity that we facing as light workers, as light beings, as upright, independent, and fearless Moors. This is what we fighting against. This is it. That negative energy right there, frequency and vibration, that's the fight. Straight up, that's the fight. When you go against that type of demon, that's the fight. You telling me I need to get some money, and you here where I work at, and you spending your money to get merch out of where I work at. Peace, more. How do that sound? That shit is crazy. And another thing, I was just on a scroll. After I seen that, I was like, nah, I seen something after that. Then I was like, fuck it. I'm finna just go ahead and beam out something. I seen another chick. It's crazy because I seen a dude today endorsing simping, endorsing prostitution. Listen. The guidance system, everybody has a guidance system. It's an internal guidance system. Pick up the book by Robert Greene. It's called The Laws of Human Nature. Pick up that book. Fire. It's a chapter in where he's talking about everybody has an internal guidance system. Some people in their life, it might have to be something that's shocking and trivial that it ignite they system. You feel me? It's something that it's other people that can have, they don't have to really go through something trivial. You know what I'm saying? That'll open them up to turning on their internal navigational system, their internal guidance system. It's some people that's like that. Some people need some shocking all type thing to ignite them. And some people, they really don't. They just through life, they just start to go on that path of enlightenment. You feel me? So the whole time, this chick, she was on like the Kendra G show. I'm scrolling and whatnot. She on the Kendra G show. I see this shit. It's a clip. I need me a dude that make $100,000 a year. So old girl, she well, how many babies you got? That's where the microphone just went off. Like, how many babies you got? What? And you out here making demands for a dude to be making a certain amount of six figures. And you look terrible. You look terrible. Your story is terrible. You got how many baby daddies? And ain't none of your baby daddies say, get on one knee and say, will you be with me? What? How many dudes you done had? I don't want to hear nothing no more about a woman talking about she done got proposed to 5 times. What? You want a trophy? Do you want a trophy because you said you've been proposed to 5 times, 3 times? You think you think you supposed to get a trophy because a dude that proposed to you just said no to. You don't get a trophy for that. Baby girl, you don't get a trophy for turning down proposals. I don't know when people done made that something where it's like to be congratulated about. You ain't getting no trophy because you done had 5 proposals and you said no to all of them. And the whole time, if you got multiple baby daddies and none of them was good enough for you to say, I'm going to be with you. That ain't something to be bragging about though. But that's where they got society going. That's where the GPS is going. That's where they headed to. Like, brag about having baby daddies. Not bragging about being with the dudes you had the baby with. Don't brag about that. Don't brag about he spoiled you because he love you. He spoiled you or you spoil him because y'all love each other. Don't brag about that. Nah, don't brag about. See, they don't want to show love like that because that's too much love. Like, when the last time, like on some real shit, when the last time you done heard a love song on the radio? Like a love song where you like, this is like on some Lauryn Hill type. When the last time you heard some Lauryn Hill or just like on some real love like Erykah Badu, like On and On. You feel me? Like X Factor. When the last time you heard a song like that on the radio? You don't even hear music like that on the radio no more. The energy, frequency, and vibration, the navigation of music now is trash. Garbage. They not promoting that love vibe no more. They not promoting that frequency no more. Where it's like real love. Like, I could tell you like I love you type shit. I could, like, we was in a barbershop, right? And they had threw an old song on from I don't even know what year it was. It was a song on. This dude was on there singing his soul out. I was like, everybody was like, damn. Fool didn't hit a note that you could tell like he really loved though whoever he was singing to. Whatever woman he was singing to, fool put his whole soul in the song. I was like, damn, this nigga, everybody in the shop stopped for a second like, damn, fool ass. He hit a note that was like, damn. He could tell he loved her type shit. When the last time you heard that kind of frequency energy on the radio? Nah. They ain't on that. The industry ain't promoting that. They don't want that love vibe out there. That's why they promoting that multiple baby daddy vibe. That you could raise the baby on your own vibe. That's why they promoting that color vibe. That's why they promoting that violence vibe. That's why they promoting all that, because it's anti-love. You feel me? Remember, it's always love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The ones that's anti, they going against that. Yeah, on some Shy Lights. Like, it was like, I think it was, I don't know who it was, but it was like the Commodores, the Shy Lights, Lenny. It was James Brown. It was somebody. He hit a note that was, you could tell, like, him hitting that note, singing that song, that he loved the old girl up in whoever she was. You could just tell. For real, fam. For real. But yo, man, I hope y'all got something from this beam out. I'm finna move around. I appreciate all y'all that tune in, all y'all Moors, Asiatics, critical thinkers. Appreciate all y'all that tune in, fam. Don't forget, fam, love is the strongest frequency, energy, and vibration. It's the strongest frequency, energy, and vibration. That's why the prophet told us to love instead of hate. Hating ain't gonna do shit but make your face get old. Your energy gonna be down. You just gonna be out here bogus as hell. You gonna be doing all type of snake shit. Shiesty shit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody really gonna mess with you like backdoor type shit. Because you don't know yourself enough to know that love is the highest frequency. You know what I'm saying? Love could bring back, check it out. Love can bring back the dead. You realize that? Love can bring back the dead. The dead can only stay dead though. Real life. Real life. Real life though. I'm gonna catch y'all more on the next one, man. Yo, look at yourself. Look at your internal GPS. Look at that. Reevaluate it. Unlearn what need to be unlearned and apply the guidance that need to be there. Don't be too prideful where you can't accept guidance. I need guidance. Other people need guidance. Everybody needs some kind of guidance at some point in time in their life, in their journey. Everybody need that. And if you don't think you need that, you probably one of the ones that be behind the wheel and you in the car and shit lost as hell. You talking about, I know how to get there. I'm going to get there when I get there. You one of them angry drivers. You one of them angry ass drivers. I'm going to get there when I get there. And don't nobody want to be in the car with you because they know how you get down. Like, I'm not getting in the car with fool. I already know how you get down. I already know how she get down. Nah, don't be that. Don't be that person. You don't want to be that. Hell no. Don't nobody want to get in the car with you? No. At all. So I'm going to check y'all more on the next one, though. All right? Study. Teach your babies. I self-law and master. Peace, Moors.